Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the bakery. I hope you had a fantastic Christmas for those who celebrated, and a happy New Year. We're going to be starting the new year off with another, more serious attempt at a challenge I approached in my channel's infancy. I'm gonna get a little sappy here, so if you don't want to hear it, skip to... When I first started my channel, I put hardly any effort into my videos, especially my challenge videos, because I didn't expect anything to come of this channel. This was months before my cold pickle came out in the form of Dark Souls 3 with a candlestick. Right before that video, actually, I was seriously contemplating calling it quits on YouTube, because up until then, I was lucky to even get 1,000 views on a video. Only a few times did I pass 2,000. I was praying the night before the candlestick video came out that it would do well and give me a reason to keep trying. Then, just a few days later, it blew up. I woke up in the morning to find tons of comments, tens of thousands of views, 1,000 new subscribers, and comments from 2 of my favorite creators. I can't even describe the amazement I felt in that moment. People really liked my content, and I found my niche. Since then, I've had several videos now past 10,000 views, and it still bewilders me. I can't thank you guys enough. You've kept me going even though I was about to quit. It means so much, and I couldn't ask for anything more. Anyway, now that story time is over, let me tell you about our challenge today. Like I said, this is a challenge I made a half-hearted attempt at in the youngest days of my channel, and if you've been following me since then, you've probably seen what I'm talking about. But if not, you can't anymore because I unlisted it. Don't worry though, you will see it in a future video I have an idea for. It's gonna be the 100,000 subscriber special. Anyway, this is actually the first FromSoft challenge I ever tried, so we're gonna see if I can beat Dark Souls Remastered with the Broken Straight Sword.
Dark Souls time, come on grab your friends, we're going to carry through Lord Ran. With John Dark Soul, Andre the Blacksmith, the pain will never end cause it's Dark Souls time.
Now that we've made a diseased looking man like the leper from Darkest Dungeon, let me explain the rules. I want to start off by saying while we will be using the Broken Straight Sword, we are going to have to bend our rules a bit. This challenge, as far as I'm concerned, is actually nearly impossible with just the Broken Straight Sword, especially regarding bosses such as the Four Kings. So thanks to a press continue video, it's linked below, on the Broken Straight Sword, we're actually going to be using spells to buff it. So we're only allowed to use the Broken Straight Sword, which I'll be shortening to BS Sword from here on out, and buffing spells, meaning Magic Weapon, Great Magic Weapon, Crystal Magic Weapon, Sunlight Blade, and Dark Moon Blade. Otherwise, the challenge just wouldn't be possible. Although I will say, if we can reach 50,000 subscribers, I will do a run where I explicitly only use the standard Broken Straight Sword. I know 50,000 is a lot to ask, that's why I made that the requirement. Anyway, now that that's over with, we're allowed to use any armor and rings, no summons, and our goals are to kill all bosses and collect all 5 of our buffing spells. So with the rules out of the way and our weapon finally collected, we eliminate the Asylum Demon and hitch a ride to the Kingdom of Lordran. So we immediately need to make our way to Griggs, as he'll sell us a catalyst and magic weapon. On the way there, we got poisoned after 1 rat bite. That is just about the worst thing that could have happened. We buy the residence key, grab the lightning resins, this is the only fight we're going to use resins for, and rush as fast as we can toward the Taurus demon, who proved to be a mite challenging, and it was a close fight, but we eliminated him. Meaning we can now start the steps required to reach Griggs to get our first buff. We talk to Sunbro, I want the Sunbro body pillow so bad. Then we juke Noob Trap, shred some pork, giving us a snazzy new helmet, and barely make it Andre alive. That play on words sounded a lot better in the script. After upgrading our BS sword to get 5 more damage out of it, we open the Firelink shortcut and upgrade our flask. Then we grab the basement key, and from there we make it down to the lower undead burg, being terrorized by the dogs and losing 9,000 souls. Before finally freeing our wizarding friend. Now, back at Firelink, we can purchase our first buff, Magic Weapon. So, with this first scroll of Magic Weapon, we get 5 casts. Holy cannoli. You may be asking,
But Papa Cakes, what does magic weapon do?
You see, young pastry, magic weapon increases the damage of the weapon it's applied to by 80% of the catalyst's magic adjust rating. Meaning, with the sorcerer's catalyst, magic weapon will add 88 damage to our straight sword, for a total damage output of 139 damage before resistances, which at this point is about 2.7 times the amount of damage we'd be doing otherwise. So let's test it on this guy. Wow, 33 true damage. Anyway, we open the new Londo shortcut, free Lautrec, grab the Fap ring, and upgrade our BS sword as much as we can before it's time to face the gargoyles. Ooh boy. Just for gits and shiggles, let's attempt Capra. Never mind, gargoyles it is. After 1, 2, 3, and 4 attempts, we finally achieved victory. The worst part about that fight was by far our weapon's range. It really razzle-dazzled us here. Anyway, now that that's over, we ring the first of 2 bells, and it's time for us to head to the depths. So we find a strange man and upgrade our intelligence and endurance for more stamina and to squeeze just a little more damage out of our spell. Oh boy, the run to Capra Demon, everybody's favorite, full of wonder such as, I wonder when this hell will end, and amazement such as, wow, I just died to Capra's dogs and now I need to run through that again? Amazing! We open the shortcut from Firelink because that's going to be the safest way to rematch Capra Demon. Then we buy the repair box and make our way back to Capra. Alright, with Capra dead, we can finally make it into the depths. Grab the large ember, eradicate a massive rat, then skip the entirety of the zone, opening the main shortcut and eliminating the channeler before facing the gaping dragon, and swiftly teach him what it means to be gay. By quickly, I of course mean we ran out of magic weapon casts halfway through the fight and dealt 14 damage per hit for the last half of his health bar. Anyway, we open the big door to Blight Town and head on down into poison status galore. Except I remember this is Dark Souls, and after giving Andre the large ember and upgrading our weapon a little, we instead slip it in the back door, like a real Souls player. When we reach the little sewer bonfire thing, we go back up to the water wheel and collect the tin banishment catalyst, which actually isn't as good as ours. Oh well, at least we have some gloves we can still light roll in now. Anyway, here we are at... It was another incredibly long and arduous battle where, once again, we ran out of magic weapon casts halfway through, but we did it. So we ring our second bell, opening Saw movies 1 through 6. With the next part of our journey about to begin, we grab a second Firekeeper soul. Everyone avert your eyes. I'm just putting her out of her misery. Then we eliminate forever flowing bodily fluid just because we're down here already. Well, gravity does more specifically. Anyway, we head back to Firelink and sell stuff to Frampt to purchase the lingering Dragon Crest ring to make our casts last longer. Then we head to Bowser's Castle, getting a Snake Man to fall for our trap. After falling in a very bum-fiddling way, we fall again, attempting to break the wall, and I decide we'll just stay unlocked for the rest of the fortress. After a few more incredibly frustrating deaths, we kick a Snake Man off the ledge and free Big Hat Logan. So we head back to Firelink and purchase another 5 casts of magic weapon from him. Then, after being crushed in a heartbreaking way, we reach the end of the fortress and the only bonfire in this whole level. Now how cruel is that? Anyway, we make it up to Iron Golem and get chucked off the ledge. So we eliminated the giant throwing down those huge fire bombs first. Then, on our second attempt, while trying and failing to get gravity to do our job for us once again, we accidentally eliminate him the intended way. Oopsies. Anyway, on to... the City of Gods. What a lovely conclusion to the first half of the game. A wonderful progression of events. I wonder how the second half is going to build on that. Anyway, here in Anor Londo, we actually have our first buff upgrade, and you better believe I'm excited. First, though, let's talk to the Firekeeper that a certain other challenge runner projects his partner onto that I was going to make a completely respectful, fun joke about, but as I'm writing the script, I realized might not be the best idea because I don't want to make a bad impression and possibly get locked out of working alongside him in the future. Hey, Brass Lady. Anyway, here we are in this massive chapel. There is no way the gods needed it to be this big. Even the giants are too small for this to be practical. We cut down this chandelier and make our way to the lower floor, where we find it. Great magic weapon, which gives us a damage boost equal to 1.1 times our magical adjust stat on our chosen catalyst, as opposed to magic weapons' 0.8 multiplier. This also means we have a total of 13 buffing casts. Hooray! Oh, we also lowered the tower one more time and got a certain bonfire. You'll see why later. This is actually also where I realized we forgot to do the Undead Asylum revisit, and I really don't want to go through Sens again. Twice. So we have to wait until we've obtained the Lord Vessel, then we'll just come back later. We run past the Anorlando archers and find our beautiful boy. We have a fight with what must be the world's most resilient Silver Knight before just doing the stair skip and opening the front door of Anorlando, as well as meeting our next blacksmith. Then it's time to face what I know is going to be our hardest, most frustrating challenge yet, Ornstein and Smo. Wow, that was actually just about the worst thing I've ever experienced within the last few years. Even just that victory had my heart racing a mile a minute. Anyway, we switch back into our regular attire and grab the Lord Vessel from Mommy Memories. I mean Guinevere's sons. Thank you, Bird, for the idea to call them that. Make sure you follow him if you like hearing about Souls lore and stuff. We're not affiliated, I just like his content. Anyway, with the Lord Vessel in hand, we can now warp between selected bonfires, capping off the first half of the game. Suffice it to say, I do not look forward to what horrible things come next. So, it's time to tell Frampt of the good news. Frampt puts us in his mouth and holds us there until we go around the other end and come inside his basement. That sounds really bad out of context. So we place the Lord Vessel, and now all the golden gates that had been blocking our progress simply cease to exist. Get it? Like the dragon? Cease to exist? Like Seath the Dragon. Anyway, before exploring these new places, I'm beginning to feel thirstier in every fight we undergo, so we head to the catacombs. After moving incredibly slowly through the shelter of Heroes Pass, we meet Patches who flipped a bridge for us, then immediately tried to flip us off that same bridge. Anyway, we grabbed the Dark Moon Seance Ring and we faced Pinwheel. I was legitimately so surprised to find that with the worst weapon in the game, where against all the other bosses, even with great magic weapon, we were doing 60 damage at most, Pinwheel goes down as easy as ever. I really don't know how much harder you can make him. Anyway, we pick up the Mask of the Child, giving us extra stamina regen. It ain't no Mask of the Father, but we take what we can get. The hardest part of the Pinwheel fight is looking for his damn ladder. First, we head backward to die to a fall, but oh, we actually loaded Vamos's cutscene. How's this gonna end? I'm alive! Thank you, Vamos! Anyway, after that, and finding out he's not useful to us at all, this is the first time I've ever unlocked him, we grab the first bonfire in the Tomb of the Giants. Then, head back to Firelink to get our sweet 20 Estus. Do you guys think Estus is flavored? I bet it tastes like orange soda. We go back to Dark Moon Tomb to join the Dark Moon Covenant. Don't worry, we'll take out Gwendolyn soon. We just need something from him first. Afterward, we cosplay as an egg to return to the Undead Asylum and slay the stray demon. We also have a chat with a Black Knight before grabbing the doll and leaving. We purchase the Crest of Artorias just so that's done, then we use the Peculiar Doll to head into the painted world of Ariamis. After dropping from a bridge and making it through the Sewer of Death, we open up Priscilla's fight, where I accidentally ended up soft-locking us and had to run around the area collecting humanities to have enough heals to finish the fight. And then it turns out we didn't even need all the heals I collected because we didn't even use the full 5. The problem with the fight against Priscilla is that we didn't have the attack power to stagger her out of her invisibility. So after 20 grueling minutes of shadow boxing, we've claimed yet another boss. This was easily worse than Ornstein and Smo. My expectations for each of those fights were really backward. Anyway, before we leave, we grab the Annex key, which lets us take the Dark Ember, then farm a whole 2 souvenirs of reprisal from the bird people after 2 hours. After that, we plummet off the edge to arrive facing the painting of Ariamis once again. Unfortunately, we'll need to come back later, but I want to get closer to our main objective before doing that. Before we move forward, however, we gotta move backward. So to the Darkroot Garden it is to take on Moonlight Butterfly. First, though, we give Andre this ember. Well, that was easy. First try and 2 landing cycles with the worst weapon in the game using a buff she's resistant to. Talking to you, Terry. The next morning, I decide it's time to get our next magic buff, Crystal Magic Weapon. So we head to the Duke's Archives, where right away we spend almost 20 minutes stuck in a corner whacking a couple boars for about 20 damage each hit. Before we head up into the Archives, we take out the golem holding onto the broken pendant and he doesn't drop the necklace. What the hell? Anyway, we throw on a regular Ring of Sacrifice because I forgot to grab a rare ring, and we'll need to deal with the curse later on. I find a possible cheese position I'll have to try in the future, then we get impaled. Upon waking up, we find that the attack that killed us actually didn't inflict us with curse. We get to keep our souls and our health. We eliminate this snake man and grab his key. Then we trigger the alarm and all the Squidwards come out to play. After taking a very long time to clear the zone, we find Logan, who we need to free for our next buff. We can't grab that key until later into the archives though, so we simply open the big metal door instead. While we flip all these staircases, let me explain why we're here. Aside from our upgrades we get from Logan, part of the reason I wanted to come here to the Duke's Archives is because Seath has immense magical resistance. And since we can't get Sunlight Blade before we've gotten Dark Moon Blade, he's going to easily be one of the most durable bosses we've faced so far. Anyway, we grab that key we needed and head back to Logan, freeing him and telling him to move along and read his little heart out. Now that Logan is sitting right where he wishes to be, we can finally buy Crystal Magic Weapon, a buff that gives us 1.4 times the magic adjustment stat of our Catalyst, 0.3 times more than the multiplier of Great Magic Weapon, and 0.6 times more than that of regular magic weapon. We actually can't move forward to Seath from here though, as we need to purchase Logan's entire inventory, because he gives us the best possible catalyst for our ventures. So we're gonna leave this area alone for now and get a jump start on the DLC. First, however, we head to the Tomb of the Giants to collect the Silver Serpent Ring. When we get to this game's horror section, we meet Patches again, and being Soulsborne tradition, we just need to fall for his trick. It's even funnier the 150th time! Oh well, at least we got some souls and a light source. Yes, Patches, you're forgiven. I could never stay mad at you. PSA, everybody, this has been an example of a manipulative and unhealthy relationship. Anyway, we're petrified by a dog, and wow, Crystal Magic Weapon is really putting in some work. Then we light the second bonfire and grab the Silver Serpent Ring. With the Silver Serpent Ring in hand, we arrive to the belly of the earth to farm the demons around the area. After making it to the second Demon Ruins bonfire, we eliminate Demon Fire Sage as easy as ever. Then we go buy some more of Logan's spells, meaning we only need another 60,000 souls. That shouldn't be too hard to obtain though. Hey! Look guys, it's that one guy from Elden Ring Night Rain! That joke is courtesy of Cairo. If you don't get it, just watch the Night Rain reveal trailer. You'll understand. Anyway, Centipede Demon goes down, and it's here where I really realize Crystal Magic Weapon makes this playstyle so much more viable. It's actually insane. With our new orange ring, we traverse the lava of the arena to reach the next bonfire, and have a seat staring at our depressed best friend. Anyway, we traverse some lava until we reach Lost Izalith. It's such a shame they couldn't take more time on this game and really spruce up these unfinished areas. It leaves much to be desired in the second half of the game. Still phenomenal though. After lighting the main Izalith bonfire, we have enough consumable souls now to purchase the last of Logan's spells, so we buy everything and exhaust his dialogue. All that's left now is to eliminate Seath. However, let's do Bed of Chaos now. There goes one seal thing, and we got squashed like a bug. Anyway, there goes the other one, and we're given a reminder why everyone hates this boss. Down goes Bed of Chaos, and we obtained our first Lord Soul. Anyway, after that, we eliminate the Hydra in Darkroot Basin and free Dusk. Then we grab her pendant from Seath's, take it back, and touch a magical butthole, getting pulled into an absolutely incredible part of this game. Wow, this is rough. Let's try Seath. Well, looks like we went from hard to super easy baby mode. Seath was a pushover. That's our next bequeathed soul shard. Oh well, at least this means we have access to our catalyst upgrade now. So we talk to Logan one last time to find that he's gone insane. Then we head back to the entrance of the archives, make our way to the first Seath encounter, and give Logan a merciful execution, netting us his big old hat as well as our best catalyst, the 10 crystallization catalyst, which we actually can't use yet. Nothing a few souls can't solve. Wow, that damage is going to make this man cake a very happy camper. With that, we head on to Nito, the first of the dead. Wow, dead again, I suppose. This challenge has really flipped from being incredibly difficult and frustrating to being a completely viable and easy way to play the game. Hopefully the DLC changes that. Now, I want to do the DLC before putting down Sif so you can all see the unique cutscene that plays beforehand. Only issue with that is that also means we can't fight the 4 kings right now, meaning all we really do have left is the DLC. So let's get to farming, so we can get our last 2 buffs we need to collect and get another optional boss out of our way. After about an hour of farming, we got all 10 Souvenirs of Reprisal, meaning we can now receive Dark Moon Blade, a miracle giving us a buff of 1.8 times our talisman's magic adjust stat to our weapon's damage. There is something special about Dark Moon Blade, however. The 1.8 multiplier is actually the minimum level. You can get it all the way up to 2.1 times, but we won't be doing that, because we will be eliminating Gwendolyn now! Hey, I mean, we got the spell, that's all we had to do. After getting Gwendolyn out of the way, we head to the back of the arena and grab the far superior Sunlight Blade, meaning we've now grabbed all of our spell buffs, completing our first objective. 7 bosses left. Let's do this. After a long fight with Sanctuary Guardian, we eliminate our 20th boss. I'm worried for the rest of the DLC, but let's push on. By let's push on, I of course meant 3 days later, which was 2 days after Christmas. Once again, Merry belated Christmas everyone, lots of love and well wishes. Anyway, after meeting Elizabeth, we make our way through this beautiful, bountiful garden before meeting John Bloodborne and opening a shortcut. Also, I warped back to Anor Londo to farm for a few thousand souls to level up, and I forgot Brass Lady is mad at us now, so... sorry, Lemon. With that all done, it's time to face who is one of the most difficult bosses in the entire game, and one of the most compelling and impressive bosses in the whole series. It's time to fight Knight Artorias.
All of you. Forgive me, for I have availed you nothing.
This is gonna be rough. So let's upgrade our damage, the small amount that we can right now. To New Londo it is. Wow, that's a lot of damage. Anyway, after we open the doors to New Londo, we go back and grab the very large ember. We give it to Andre and level our weapon one more time. Time to farm chunks. Alright, now that we have all the chunks we need, we finish leveling our weapon and we head back to Artorias. Maybe we should also switch to a catalyst that won't have our spell uses. After 5 attempts and 30 minutes of fighting just on the winning attempt, Artorias finally falls. Ooh boy, that fight was actually so much fun. Just like it always is. The next day, we actually make our way into Ulasail, finding the precursors of the terribly annoying bloated Olbanorix from Elden Ring. After eliminating some witches, we get banged by a gang. After making our way back, we open an elevator shortcut and die to some witches on some stairs, and finally make it down to the Chasm of the Abyss. Now, before we fight Manus, I actually want to free Sif from the Abyss so we can get the secret cutscene and finally reach Gwyn. So we make our way through the Abyss and follow a cat, finally saving the best boy from all these scary humanities. Then we make our way back to Darkroot Garden to face him in battle. Here's the special cutscene, guys. Hope this is at least some of your first time seeing it. Are you even more sad than you already would have been? Are you crying yet? I wish so much getting that cutscene would cause a peaceful resolution. Anyway, we're given the Covenant of Artorias. meaning we can fight the 4 kings, 4 bosses left. Luckily, we already opened up most of New Londo, so we throw on the Covenant of Artorias and jump down into the abyss. Eliminating the 4 kings was actually a little less difficult than I was expecting to have. They still weren't necessarily easy though, so that's only 3 bosses left. Gwyn, Manus, and Calamite. First things first, however, we meet Goff, one of the best characters in the series. And we first need to meet Calamite. Talking to Goff now, he grounds Calamite for us. I don't know why he couldn't just do that in the first place. Now, we have all 3 of our last fights available to us. So let's try Calamite, because Manus has the most single entity health out of all the bosses in the entire game. Let me just say it again for the people in back. Single entity, as in one enemy, not a shared health pool. Oh boy, this really is gonna be the whole DLC. Let's go ahead and try. That just happened. Oh no. Do you guys hear that? I think I hear him. Finally, after spending hours grinding away at Calamite, he falls. So we inform Goff of our achievement, and he gives us his bow as thanks for felling his old arch-nemesis. All we have left now is Manus and Gwyn, so I suppose we'll just get straight into what I personally feel is the toughest boss in the game. After hours of attempts, this is how far we ended up getting. Unfortunately, I'm just not skilled enough for this fight. If our damage was higher, this wouldn't be any issue, but our absolute most damage we're dealing is about 50 points. Plus, the visuals in the arena were giving me a headache. So let's move on to our predecessor. We offer the Lord souls we've collected to the Lord vessel, and make our way through the kiln of the first flame to he who lit the fire before us, doomed to fall by our hand, Gwyn, the first Lord of Cinder. That, Gwyn succumbs to our edge. The god has been slain. The fire, without a kindling entity, begins to fade until we become its core. Engulfing us, the blaze of humanity rages on, ending the game. Meaning, we have successfully beaten Dark Souls Remastered with the Broken Straight Sword. This challenge was a complete roller coaster. The first half of the game was excruciatingly difficult. The moment we got Great Magic Weapon, however, especially after getting Crystal Magic Weapon, the game became so much easier than I expected it to be. Then, it went right back to being incredibly difficult with our entry into the DLC. Still, despite this, we were able to cull every boss in the game except for Manus. Also the Sanctuary Guardian duo, but we already fought Sanctuary Guardian, and the duo on the wiki isn't counted as another boss fight, so it's pretty much you know. Regardless, 25 out of 26 bosses eliminated, and game completed. While this challenge was difficult at points and trivial at others, it was incredibly fun, and I actually really do suggest you try it out. Just make sure you use the magic weapon buffs, otherwise it's pretty much impossible. Remember, if we can reach 50,000 subscribers, I'll do a run with the broken straight sword, no buffs. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. I appreciate all the support you've given me throughout my channel's entire lifetime, and I hope we continue to grow together. Aside from that, as always, have a fantastic day.